You doing tonight?
Awesome.
Great. Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to the Choose to Change. Glad you are here, guys. So, how's everybody doing? Awesome. That's good to hear. Long week, huh? I had a hectic day today, but a challenging day, but God help me overcome it. But uh, attitude and mindset will get you a long way. So, welcome everyone. The Choose to Change program is a self-supporting Christian based sponsored by the Choose to Change Foundation. There's no fee to attend this class, but we do encourage donations from our member to anyone else who believes in what we do. The only requirement, who's got that desire? You're in the right place. We are on a mission to restore families by inspiring, challenging, and equipping men to become better fathers, husbands, and leaders in our community. So if you are ready to change your life, then guess what? You're in the right place. Through this program, you will learn exactly where to start your life change journey, tools and resources to keep you going, and a support system to help you reach your goals. The Choose to Change mentoring program believes in three key principles of life. Three key principles of life. Number one, we believe in the life changing power of God through faith in Jesus Christ. Number two, we believe that God has already done his part and that it is your responsibility to learn to do your part. That's a hard one, huh? Success, that's number three. Success or failure is your choice, and the choice is yours. So if you are ready to say, if you are ready, say, I am ready. Man, number three is so powerful. I'm going to read it again. Success or failure is a choice, and the choice is yours. So I think what that means to me, wherever you're at in life, is because you got yourself there, right? If you're back in a bluebird, it's because nobody forced you, right? If you're here because you want success, that's. But I bet you that bird, that bus, the bluebird is full. And this class is empty because nobody wants that change. So, guys, we have the main one coming in, Mr. Orlando Salinas. He's back, and just give him a hand as he takes the pulpit, guys.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So thank you, Rudy. All right. Welcome everyone. I wanna thank you guys for being here. I'm excited. I'm excited because I want a oh, let me get started here. Where so last week, remember we talked about identity crisis, and everybody's looking for a identity, and that's one of our needs in life. That's one of our human needs. We need to be uh, we need to have some kind of meaning in our lives. That's why everybody dresses differently. That's why everybody does different things. But I'm glad that I got some good responses from that class from last week. But today I want to talk about. We're going to start a new series on what I share here all the time. I'm going to talk about the process of change. About the process of change, and what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to go do an overview of what it really takes to change your life. You know, Rudy said something very interesting. He says, I really like that part. What part did it say, Rudy? If the third part said, I forgot. The choice is yours. You know, it's really incredible when I start thinking about what I teach. When I first started to Choose the Change, and thank you for watching, those of you who are online, thank you for watching. When I first started Choose the Change, it was an idea. It was an idea of that I had about helping people understand where to start a life change journey. And the reason I started that is because I didn't know how to start that when I got to that crossroads in life. And I wanted to be able to create something, create a process that not that I actually created, but this is I teach things that are already out there that people can learn. People pay money to learn this, and you just got to search for it. But a lot of people don't search for it, and that's part of the process. So what I want to do this week or just today and for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to break down the process of change. What does it really take to change your life? That's what we're going to talk about. So, if you guys are ready, I want you to think about who you can invite next week, because next week we'll probably go through the first two. I'll probably do it in 3 or 4 phases, but I want people to get it, and I want to use these videos that I'm that we're filming right now, so that I can teach others people, and there's other churches and other people that want to do a class, and they ask me, what is your class about? What do you teach? Well, this is what I'm going to do for the next 3 weeks. I'm going to teach people exactly what I teach, so that you can use this video to have a class in your church or um, at your home, right? At a Choose a Change meeting. Or so let's get started. So Chavarria, let me ask you: if someone would ask you, or anybody here, if someone asked you, maybe you had a nephew or a 18-year-old kid or a 20-year-old young man or a 30-year-old young man, and they ask you, hey, you know what, Chavarria? Man, I want to change my life. My life is a mess. Where do I start? What would you tell them? How do I start? Of course, maybe you would say, you know what, we'll come to Choose the Change. But think about that for a minute. What would you tell somebody? Where do I start? Of course, most of us sitting here today, you already kind of have an idea. But what about before you knew? Now we have an idea of where to direct people. But what do people do? How do when people are in life, they have some kind of failure in their lives, which is why I drew this up here. They have some kind of failure. They've gone through a divorce. You know, for many of us here, we were in prison, we were had probation, and we had problems with drugs and alcohol, relationships. Right? We have problems, and we don't know how to change that. So then, maybe you just want a better job, right? Start a business, but you don't know where to start. You know, and so you're here, sad. And once in a while, we have these dreams, and you're daydreaming, and you think about success, right? You think about, man, I wish I had a better house, or maybe I wish I had a house. You're renting, or you're thinking, man, I wish I had a better job, or start my own business. These are things that people think. Because you say, man, be cool to have family and friends, better health. How about financial stability? Everybody's struggling with money, right? A lot of people. I mean, it's a huge deal. But see, this is the kind of stuff that we don't talk about, that people don't want to talk about. They they smile and they take their selfies and they post them on Facebook, and everybody's happy, but they get home and they're miserable. So they're here, but they want to go here. The question is, how do you get from here to here? And that's what the process of change is all about. Transformation is an inside job. You can write that one down, Chavaria. Transformation is an inside job. We're not used to that. Many of us, we want to change from the outside. So what do? We change our friends. We change how we dress. We change, our makeup. We change, what different bar we go to out there. But transformation is an inside job. And listen to this one. Change is a process. So that's what I want to help you understand today. That change is a process. So for the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm starting today. I'm going to go through this process of change. And I like making it like this little ladder. How do you get from here? For me, in my case, it was failure, total failure, drug addiction, prison. That was for me, total failure. That's where I was. So how do I get from here to here? I figured it out. 25 years ago, I found myself at this crossroads. We're here. I was here, and I wanted to move forward, but I didn't know how. And in the last 5 years, I've learned a few things. I've put together some things that now I understand exactly what it takes. So that's what I want to teach you today. This process to help you go from there to here. So let's get started with this process. But let me give you, in fact, before I get started with this process, let me give you 3 key things that you need to understand when it comes to life change, success, and overcoming in life. There's very important 3 things to understand about this process to go from failure to success. There's 3 things you need to understand. You must understand. What's so powerful that there's an answer for your problems. you know, Deep down, I remember, and I'm going to mention this again. 25 years ago, when I was in prison, I was hopeless. I didn't think my life could change. I didn't think a loser like me could change. I just didn't think it could happen. I couldn't see it. And this is where I was. I'd see outside the window of the prison cell, and I think of success of other people that had success. But I couldn't see it. So then what do? We just forget about it. The process of change, there is a process to change. And that's what I'm going to give you today. I was sharing with a group here that I'm going to go through the process of change in the next 3 weeks, and I'm going to give you an overview of exactly what that process is, and then I'm going to go step by step here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But 3 things you need to understand about this process. Number one is that it's a process. It's a process. You have to understand that life change is a process, no matter what you go through. Whether you start school, you go to trade school, you go to college, or you start something, a new job. You start somewhere, and then there's a process you have to go through, right? And it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get a raise overnight. Your life is not going to change overnight. It's going to take time. Things just don't happen overnight. You're going to have to learn some patience, our favorite thing. Patience. So number two that you have to understand about the process is that you need to take action. There's a learning curve. Who's ever heard that term before? A learning curve. There's a learning curve. What that means is that, like, when you start a new job or you go to school for a trade, you start a business, whatever it might be, you start something new that you don't know how to do. There's a learning curve before you're here, and before you can get up here, there's a curve of learning. That's what's called the learning curve. There's some things that you need to learn before you get a raise or before you have success. There's a learning curve. So there's some things that you're going to have to learn. And what that means is that there's some things that you're going to have to not only learn, but implement. And that's why action is required. Like, you You came last week, so you came again. So that's the action. That's the action required for change, for success, for breaking through. That's it. That's why we keep telling people. In fact, you heard Leon tell you, and we tell everybody that just keep coming back. Just keep coming back. That is huge. There's a reason for it because you're not going to learn everything in one setting. It just doesn't happen that way. And the third thing is going to take commitment. Commitment on your part. Commitment. That's a word that not very many people like. You have to be committed to something. And I understand commitment, you know. Uh and I was a drug addict. I was very committed to using drugs. I know what it takes to get another hit. Right, Choria? I mean, I know what it takes. When they explained this to me, I said, "Wow, man, I used to do that." He said, you got to give everything. You have to do whatever it takes to change your life." And I used to think about that. I said, "Wow, that's what I used to do when I used to when I was a drug addict, when I was using drugs. I did whatever it took to get another hit." Of course, that was me. I was a drug addict. So you have to be committed to this process. So those are the three things that you have to understand about the process. That it's a process, that it's going to take action, and that it takes a commitment. And by the way, that's how success is earned. Every single day, the rent is due on success. Action and commit. So let's get started. So where would you start? Your life is a mess. Where would you start? Let me give you the very first step. The very first step is desire. Desire. Desire has to do with wanting something. You want something better for your life. You want something different. You want to change. You want to stop using drugs. You want to stop being a pervert on porn. You want to stop, not go to prison no more. You want to be a better man, a better person. I wanted to be a better man. I wanted to be a better person. I didn't want to be a loser no more. That's really that's what I wanted. I had messed up my life. It ruined my family's life. I didn't want to be that man anymore. I just did not want to be that man anymore. So I had this deep down rooted desire, which is what it's going to take. I'm talking about, and I'm going to go over this. It has to come from within. It has to, I can't give it to you. The pastor can't give it to you. Your friends can't give it to you. They'll encourage you a little bit, but man, if it doesn't come from inside of you, man, you're not going to make it. There's a guy named Les Brown. He says, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry. You ever been hungry, Chavaria? I mean, really, like hungry, right? That's like, it makes you take action. That's how you have to feel about changing your life. You have to have that deep down desire inside of you. Darren Hardy says, you must find your way. And he uses that must, which brings me to uh, Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas says, you must want success more than you want to breathe. That's what he says. When you want to succeed in life, as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Man, I remember hearing that guy and I said, man, that guy's out of control. That's how I felt. I said, I'm going to change my life. And that has to come from within you. And I'm going to share an illustration next week about, I can't tell you exactly how to get it. I don't know what it's going to take for you. I don't know what it's going to take for people that walk into this room. I don't know what it's going to take, but I can tell you what happens once you get it. And that's what I'm going to show you next week. Tony Robbins says, this is what you have to have inside of you. He says, your wishes, your wants, and your shoulds, they're going to have to become musts. Stop wishing that you had this. Stop just, I wish I want this, or I should do this. No, 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 no. He says, what you need to do is you need to say, I must do this. I must do that. And I'm going to do this. That's how it works. Change your mindset. So it's going to take a deep rooted desire to change your life. The next step, and it's not a step, it's just the principle. The next thing you're going to need is faith. Faith in three things. Because you already have faith in your mind when you're wanting to change. You're like, man, there's got to be some kind of hope. So faith is already working. But let me tell you, let me break it down for you. You're going to have faith in God. Number one, you're going to have faith in yourself. Number two, and this is one I really struggled with. I trusted God more first because I didn't have too much faith in myself, you know. And then you're going to have faith in the process. Understand that if you just keep going, you just keep working it out, you keep doing it, it's going to work. It's worked for each and every one of us in here. It can work for you. You're going to have faith. And here's the third one. And this is the one, this is the core this is the core of this process. This right here is the heartbeat. The heart. I like that heart, man. That's a pretty good heart. And I'll stay here a little bit more. I'll take a little bit more time on this one. Mindset, philosophy. Your mindset or how you think is the core to your life change journey. It's the core. This is what's going to keep you. This is where the real work comes in. Because this one's, you can get this. But now the work begins. The heartbeat of life change. If you want to change your life, you're going to have to change your mind. Who's ever heard that? If you're going to change your life, you're going to have to change your mind. Another saying says, change your mind, change your life. Who's ever heard that or read that, right? Get all these quotes on Facebook, all these cool quotes. People post them. Oh, man, this is awesome. Why? Because there's something inside of them. They want something better. They just can't seem to get it. Well, here it is. Your philosophy, how you think. How you think about what? How you think about God, how you think about yourself, and how you think about society. All that stuff has to change. Did you know you're brainwashed? Did you know that? We are literally brainwashed. Every single one of us. We're brainwashed. And we didn't even know it. I didn't know that. So you might say, well, I'm not brainwashed. I say, I promise you, you're brainwashed. I promise you, you are brainwashed. What does that mean? In other words, you have been already pre-programmed with something. I do a whole sermon. I can be on this all day long. And I'm going to be on the way you think, the way you are, the way you act, all that is already pre-programmed in you. It's called the subconscious. And where did that come from? Let me tell you where it comes from. It comes from when we were born. When we were born, this little girl here, right here, she's learning, she's growing, she's learning. I have grandchildren now. This is why I know this. I didn't know it about my children, but now I know it because I have paid more attention. From when they're born to when they're like 7 months. I mean, there's a whole transformation that goes on there. I didn't know that. Then they become a year and they start walking, and all this stuff is being developed. And then what we're teaching them as parents, or what we're not teaching them, right? What they're watching on TV and YouTube and all that stuff is being literally downloaded, into their brains. And this is why we think the way we think. This is why we act the way we act. This is why we talk the way we talk, because we're brainwashed with what we've chosen to believe. And today, as adults, you're guided by what you see and what you believe. You're guided by what you see, what you hear, and then what you choose to believe. We're brainwashed. So what has to happen? 3 things that has to happen with your mind. Number 1, you're going to have to, and this is the only thing I'm going to mention about this, and I'm going to move on. because I'm gonna do one by one each class for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks. The way you're gonna change your mind is like this. Number one, you're gonna have to start protecting your mind. Protecting your mind. You know, everything, if you go online, if you Google, if you start searching, you go to YouTube, you're going to find a lot of things. Just Google it. How do I change my life? The first thing they're going to talk about is the mind because that's where it's at. It's the mind. It's how you think. So you have to start protecting your mind. Number two, you're going to have to start feeding your mind. So now you're going to have to start downloading new stuff, right? But what happens is that we're so full of this mess in our lives, right? Who's ever had a computer that shut down because it was just it just shut down because it's just too old or it was full already. It no more memory, and that happened to me. And what has to happen is you have to clean out that computer, literally take out everything, the good stuff, everything, and start reprogramming. And they reprogram it, and that's what we have to do in our lives. And that's why we come to church. That's why we read books. That's why we read the Bible. That's why we come to choose a change. That's why we make new friends. So we can start developing a new mindset. And the third thing I'm going to recommend is prayer. You're going to need God, man. You're going to need God because some of us are twisted. Well, let me rephrase that. We're twisted, especially men. Just twisted. So your mindset is a huge deal. Anybody want to ask any questions here before I move on? We're talking about the process of change. How do you get from failure to success? And before I move on, we're already here. Did you understand all this? Did you understand this? See, all this is a framework. And once you understand the framework, and you're going to see right now, man, you'll be able to change anything in your life. Anything. When I got this, bro, man, well, I actually didn't get it and then go for it. I just kind of learned it because I was searching. Because that's how you learn. Good ideas, great ideas come into searching. Life is not designed for the needy. Did you know that? Life is not designed for the needy. Just because you need something, life is not going to give it to you. Life is designed for the searchers, for the doers, for the action takers. What you believe. And then I'm going to break down more about this mind. We're going to talk more about the mindset because there's a subconscious and a conscious mind. There's all kinds. This is where you find your feelings and your emotions. It's heavy duty stuff. But why is this so important? Why is this the mind so important? Let me tell you why. Because it's going to produce the next two things. It's going to produce attitude and it's going to produce habits. This is why this is so important. Because how you think and what you believe is going to determine how you feel, which is going to determine your attitude. Let me see if you get this. Your mindset is about what you believe. That's what this is about. No. I'm sorry. The mindset is about what you know, what's in your mind, what's already in there. Okay? Your attitude is about how you feel about what you believe. You believe something here. You believe, if the world is corrupt. You believe whatever it is you believe. So because you believe that, that's going to create a attitude, a feeling. But we'll get more into this. Attitude. Is there an E at the end? Knew it. Getting better at this. Attitude, it's been said that some people believe attitude is everything. Who's ever heard that? Attitude is everything. I don't know if everything is attitude is everything, but I know it's huge. I'm a business owner. As a business owner, I look at attitude in people. That's it. And let me give you a secret. Most employers are not going to tell you this. They're not going to tell you this. They're just going to look at you. They're going to see how you work. They're going to see what time you come in, what time you go out. Your language, how you speak. Just your attitude. They look at your attitude, and we are all judged by our attitude. All of us. Don't you judge people by their attitude? We do. Attitude is like a bad attitude. Who's ever met someone with a bad attitude? Gates says, I'm the one. A bad attitude is like a flat tire. If you don't change it, you're not going anywhere. That's just how it is. And your mind produces that. So why is attitude so important? Because it produces habits. Habits are huge. Habits is what builds who you are. Do you know that? You are who you are by your habits. People know you by your habits because your habits produce something called lifestyle, the process of change. Once you understand this, you start working on these things. Habit, did you know that 95% of what we do in life is habitual? Did you know that? When I heard that, when I learned that, it blew me away. I had no idea. 95% of what we do in life, from the moment we wake up to the moment we lay down, it's by habit. Think about it for a minute. Everything. This is what I mean by we're brainwashed and we're programmed because this is how we learn. This is the way the mind works. And listen, I'm not the expert in the mind, but I've read a lot of stuff on the mind. I kind of understand now. This is why I teach it in as basic as I can because I don't get it all. Because the mind, I mean, scientists still don't understand the whole capacity of the mind. Scientists are learning now that there's so much more that our mind that they can do. It's just too much for us. We don't understand it. This is why some people can do some amazing things because they've tapped into something in their mind. But your mind is what was I going to say about the mind? Yes, so our mind is pre-programmed. So we have a subconscious and a conscious mind. You ever heard that? Conscious and subconscious. Does anybody want to explain that to me? Want to give it a try? What's the difference? Go ahead. What's the difference? Give him the mic. Man, I like you. I like the way you started already. So let me write that down. Sub and conscious. Go ahead.
Conscience is what you're aware of.
The
Like,
conscious.
yeah, you're aware that, you know, you're driving.
You're alive.
Yeah, you're
You can
alive,
see.
you're
You can
breathing.
hear.
Subconscious is like kind of like habit forming. You have it in the back of your mind. It's there,
Hmm.
but you're pretty much not aware of
It's
it.
like where your memory is.
Yeah, your memory.
If I ask you something, you're gonna go through your subconscious. Oh, let me download that one.
Right.
That's how it works. Yeah, that's right. Your conscious is what you're using right now. Your subconscious is what keeps you alive. Do you know that? And by the way, your brain is designed to keep you alive, not to make you happy. It's huge. Look it up. Your mind is designed to keep you alive. You know how when we touch things or it's hot or danger, it's amazing the way our mind works. It's designed to keep you alive, to protect you, not to make you happy, not to have success. You do that. And this is why this is so important. Anyway, habits, back to habits. 95% of what we do is habitual. So if that's true, and it is, I have a book back there called The Compound Effect. And I sell those books for $20, The Compound Effect. Now, the reason I sell them for $20 is because that's how much they cost. You go online and you might find some a used one or something, but that book is the author is Darren Hardy, a very 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 uh, smart leader, teacher, philosopher. He teaches CEOs and leaders. That's what he does. And that book is all about habits. It's called The Compound Effect. And that book really opened my eyes to this, to help me understand that everything we do, it's if we make it a habit, you're either going to grow towards success or you're going to continue towards failure. Let me give you a simple example. Okay, let's take health for instance. Say you're used to smoking, you're used to drinking, right? There's velas, right? You know what that does? It creates a bad attitude, right? You don't exercise, and you do that for 10 years. What do you think that's going to do to your health? You're not going to be ready for no marathon, that's for sure, right? But it's a habit. Get off work. I'm just going to give you what my habit used to be. I work all day. I deserve a drink, so I drink. You know, and plus I have to have pase because you drink. You have to have pase. You have to. I'm just telling you my habits, the one that I used to have. Y pues after a couple of passes, you need more beer. Ahí está el habit. Y ya amaneciste y ahí pasas trabajo otra vez. I mean, when you're young, you can do that. That's why so many of us ruin our lives when we're young because it's easier. We can go on for days. Everybody? Excuse me. But that habit, right? It becomes a habit. It becomes an addiction, right? It's ingrained in us. Smoking. So that's not going to take us nowhere good. Would you agree? So now, what if you change it now? Today, what I do is I get up, I come to prayer, I listen. Yeah, I really do. I come here. Our church is open to anybody who wants to come to prayer from 6 in the morning to 10 in the morning. Anyone. Come over here, we pray. That's what I do. Come and pray by 7:30, 8. I come about 3 or 4 times a week. Then I go to work, do what I have to do. I carry my bag. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I kiss my wife goodbye and I leave. Listen, haciendo puntos. Good stuff. I carry my gym bag because I'm a very busy man. I just if there's a little time, I slip in the gym, 30 minutes, 1 hour max, just a little bit. Get changed, get back to work. I carry my stuff in the in the truck. Keep working, get home, keep working. That's what I do. Relax, go to bed. I've had that habit for years. You know what has brought me? A good business. I own my own house. Have family and friends. I have very good health. I'm financially stable. I have peace of mind. I have fulfillment and meaning in my life. And I have hope for the future. That's pretty awesome to hope for, no? Okay, that's what I wanted when I was over here in prison, hopeless. That's where I was. Walking out of prison at 40 years old, 19 years ago. That's where I was. Hopeless. I need to put it down here. Hopeless. I went from there using this process. I didn't know I was using it, but now I know, and that's why I'm trying to teach it to you. Man, I wanted to change my life. I've had faith. I started changing my mindset. When I learned this, man, it just changed my life forever. My attitude changed. My habits changed. My lifestyle changed. And let me give you the seventh piece to this puzzle, to this process. This is called results. And guess what results is? What is it? It's the name of the game. That's all that really matters. It doesn't matter how much you pray, how much you believe, how much you beg, how much you want, how much you wish. It doesn't matter. Results is the name of the game. You must go through a process in order to reach some kind of goal, some kind of success in life. This is how this works. And this is what I teach in here. This is what I want to help you with. And in order to keep all this alive, it's going to take discipline on your part. It's going to take commitment on your part. It's going to take consistency. Does that make sense? All these things that we know about, that we hear about, the motivational videos that you watch, all that stuff. I'm telling you, you look this stuff up, you're going to find all this. These are the pieces of the puzzle to building your life. Let me just show it to you like this. Think about where you are today. Or I don't know where you are, but let's think about your lifestyle. Let's think about how you wound up here. Let's see how we wound up here. Results. All you got to do is ask yourself, what kind of lifestyle did you have? What kind of habits did you have? What kind of attitude did you have? What kind of twisted mindset did you have? How much faith did you have? Did you ever really want anything in life? You see how that works? That's why we wind up here. That is the process of change. Pretty powerful stuff. So then, in the next 3 weeks, maybe 4, because I'm going to try to do it in 3 to 4 weeks. Next week, I'm going to talk about faith and desire. So I'm going to break it down a little bit more. I'm going to give you the illustration of what it takes once you have that deep desire inside of you to change your life. I'm going to tell you, I don't know what it's going to take for you, but I can show you what happens when you do get it. We're going to talk about that. Then the following week, we'll talk about philosophy, the mindset. I'll break down that into more. It'll probably have to do with your mindset and your attitude. Then I'll break down these two, or attitude and habits. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4 in the next 4 weeks. But I wanted to show you the framework so you can start thinking about this, so that you can ask questions hopefully next week. Anybody have any questions? I'm gonna pass around the donation bucket, brother. I brought my donation today, man. Que no digan que no doy nada. And this is just for, if you have anything, that's fine. If you don't, no problem, guys. But we always pass it around. This is what, and I'm going to start mentioning our sponsors. I have 2 corporate sponsors now. CQR Kitchen and Bath, remodeling specialist, and the Rick Brown Funeral Home. So shout out to them for being sponsors of the Choose a Change organization. That helps us keep moving forward in this organization. Did anybody have any questions? No questions at all? Anybody learn anything? Yeah? Yes, sir.
So today I saw a meme. I thought it was funny, and I posted it up. But it goes with the mindset.
Okay.
So like when people are thinking like, well, I'm too old to do this to change my life. So I saw this today. Count Dracula was 412 when he moved to England in search of new blood. Sauron was 54,000 years old when he forged the One Ring. Cthulhu had seen galaxies flare into life and fade into darkness before he put madness in the minds of men. It's never too late to follow your dreams.
Hmm. I didn't understand that, but sounds weird. Sounds like it was never too late. Okay. Rudy, any feedback? It's never too late. How old were you when you got started?
Like
Your
my
life
change.
change journey.
Well, I've been in church about 12
10
years.
years? 12?
No, 12 years at least. And I came in with no direction. I still wanted to do coke and party and keep on coming to church. You know, tithing out of drug money. I mean, to me, I think that was just the natural thing to do.
But
Part,
that's all we knew.
yep, that's all I knew how to do, and it was a long, long process, and still a process.
Mhm.
And
But to get here, like just to get there, right? And to
yeah,
finally want something more.
my first job ever is when I came to church. My
How old
first,
were you?
about 36.
His first job ever. Really? Wow.
I was,
Share that here in a minute.
I was
35?
yeah, washing dishes in a little Mexican restaurant. I was getting paid like probably $200 probably a week.
Wow.
Man, and it was horrible. It was horrible, but you know what? I stuck it through. That's the only way you're gonna get to success if you stick it through.
Yep.
There's no other way.
There's no other way.
If you're gonna cheat, it's not gonna work.
Nope.
Nope.
Can't
So
cut corners.
you have to stick it through. If
And
you
that's hard to understand what he's saying. You have to understand, Rudy has a very successful business now.
do
That's true. Two
Two.
business.
so
He's doing very, very well. In
and
12 years.
in 12 years.
12 years.
Yep.
I mean, uh, uh, the process works if you
Does
stay in
work.
the process. What you said something that about you hadn't had a job tampoco?
Well, I had since I started working I think when I was 18 in the cotton gin,
Oh,
and it was either seasonal jobs, just getting I mean, I was young and you know, it was kind of how can I explain this? I used to belong to pretty much a criminal organization.
okay. So that's what you mean by that's why you didn't have a job because you
I
always
didn't have a need.
right. You always
Like
sold
earlier
drugs or you were in some kind of gang or something
right,
all the time for
like
all your 20s, let's say.
I've always believed in God.
Yeah.
I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
Right.
My mother, she's really into the religion, and me and my dad were not, obviously. And you know, my dad at the age of 12, me and my dad we got caught Memphis, Tennessee at the bus station with 40 pounds.
Hmm.
I was carrying it.
Yeah.
He
12
was
years old.
12 years
So
old.
that's what you learned. So, and this is what I mean by we're brainwashed. This is what I
Right.
mean by that. We're
We thought it was the only way. That's how it felt.
yeah. So, and we're gonna talk about that. You said something about faith, and this is what this process is all about. It's understanding. Let's see where you're at, right? You're talking about our faith. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God the Father, and I believe that that's the way. So that's what I recommend, right? So, but the process is the same for everybody. No matter what you believe, there's some people that don't believe in God, but they believe in themselves, and they have this process. Everybody can be successful. Everybody, if you want it, which is what desire has. Anybody else? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll close it up early next week, guys. Those of you watching us, invite someone. We're gonna go through this process. That is that it's. I might even bring some worksheets so that you can, right? Bring a pen or something so we can write some things down. So if you're ready, guys, let's make it happen. Thank you for coming. That's all I have today. God bless you. Thank you for watching.